I think one of the things that's very important to say in any new system implementation is, look, nobody's going to lose their job over this. And particularly in a warehouse environment where turnover is so high, we should never let anybody go because you put in a system that makes life better for everybody. For example, we looked at a warehouse in California, and we calculated the amount of forklift driving we saved in 1 week was the equivalent of driving a forklift from LA to San Francisco. Think about that.
If you were working with an item, a shipper that had 200 SKUs in their warehouse.
We work for companies that don't have 200. They have 2,000 or 4,000 or 6,000 SKUs in their world. Okay. If you look at the size of and weight of different SKUs, you've got people who are shipping everything from tiny little boxes right through to boxes half the size of your desk. And those companies have a huge variety of weight and dimensions. They're perhaps the easiest ones to optimize, frankly, okay? Because, you can put the heavy stuff with the light stuff and 1 + 1 = 3. Consider a case, you mentioned Anheuser-Busch. Anheuser-Busch, a relatively small difference may mean that you can, by taking one heavier pallet off, put 2 lighter pallets on and still make it into the 80,000 pounds and still keep the axles legal. But that requires a whole degree of very complex analysis. And doing it with a human mind is just, that's really, really, really difficult. I just recorded a video yesterday showing the complexity of doing that. And it took me 15 minutes with Excel to solve the problem, and there are only 2 pallet weights on it, okay? So go figure. Yeah. This is a complex
human error is going to be a factor there. So that's what the transportation warehouse optimization is, more a load optimization.
It's a load optimization, and not just how do we ship the most product with the fewest trucks, but also how do we actually load those trucks in such a way that they arrive damage-free and axle legal, obviously.
Absolutely. Now, there's another subject that we see and hear and wonder, how's it going to impact us? I'm going to say that we are somewhere as a company between pioneer and fast follower. The guaranteed return, I don't think is realistic for in our end of the business. But from a technology perspective, your third software platform you have is Provision AI.
Load optimization is one of those things that people get, yep, I understand that. More product, fewer trucks, good, we got it.
Right. One
of the challenges happens that we have these silos inside companies. We have the supply planning silo, and we have the operations silo. And those 2 silos really don't communicate and talk to each other. The supply planning guys use planning software to operate, to say, here's what I'm going to ship from this plant to this customer-facing distribution center, right?
Okay.
And they're making those decisions. They don't actually fully understand all the bits and pieces that are going on in the supply chain. So, for example, do we have space at the warehouse that you're shipping it to? 5 other plants shipping to the same warehouse, and all the trucks are going to arrive in the same day, and we're going to have 30 trucks backed up because we don't have the labor to unload them.
Right.
Okay.
No warehouse appointment availability, manpower, you name it.
Right. On the other side of the equation, you've got the shipping location. It's shipping to 10 different locations maybe, and hey, does it have the capacity to manage that? Go and all the volume. So all these decisions are being made by the supply planning folks, and frankly, they just do it, throw it over the wall. Now the transportation guys go, well, gee, today I got 2 trucks, and yesterday I had 25, and literally on the same lane. I'm not making that data up. That's
no. I have shippers that operate that way.
And you say, how do you run a railroad like that? But The transportation guys are told that, everything has to go, or at least they assume everything has to go. So what do? They go out and get 25 trucks, almost independent of how much they have to pay for it or the carriers that they have to use. We got 25 trucks. We're good. We're done. Our job's done. Of course, then it hits the warehouse, 25 trucks. It's like, geez, what do we do to you?
That's the fireman approach. I'm going to run and put out a fire here instead of saying, how do we get a fire and how do we not have a fire?
And that's what we're trying to say. How do we not have a fire? Because, we need to look out over time and say, hey, month end's coming up. We're going to have a big push at month end of customer shipments. Therefore, we're going to have a big push of shipments going to the warehouse to replenish it. So why don't we pull some of that forward and maybe push some of it back?
Yeah.
Second point is everything equally urgent?
Never.
If I've got a customer order at the warehouse and I don't have the product, that's probably urgent. If I've got a customer forecast at the warehouse and I've got 5 days worth of inventory, I'm probably okay. If I've got 10 days of inventory, I'm fine. If the system has suddenly thought, hey, I need to adjust safety stock, I need to go from 10 days of safety stock to 20 days of safety stock, is that additional 10 days urgent that it has to be shipped on this particular day? The answer is no. So what we do is multifold, and it's really good for carriers. It's really good for shippers. Okay. First of all, from a shipper perspective, we're taking those big spikes and we're smoothing them out. That's good for everybody in the supply chain. Okay.
Absolutely.
The second is we're managing it around capacity. If you have only got room for 5 trucks in this distribution center, work out what's the most important 5 trucks, because most of our clients are CPG. They only ship things in full truckloads. They can't afford to ship things in LTL or small quantities. Okay, so that's another piece. So what are the best 5 trucks from the supplying locations? The thing that's also good is that, hey, if I'm looking out over a period of say a month, how about I give the carrier a little more notice and say on Monday, hey, here are the number of trucks I'm going to need on Friday. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to put on them, but I need this many frozen trucks on Friday to go from here to here.
Yep. It's huge value.
Huge value to the carrier because they can position their equipment more readily.
Yep.
And then for the shipper, we can say, okay, Thursday comes around, we've got to tell the plant what to load. So we then look at the latest information, which has all the latest data on what's shipped and what hasn't shipped and whether the forecast was right and all this other stuff. And we can say, based on the loads we tendered on Monday, this is the best loads that we can build, and here's what's going to go on each one of them. Okay.
Yep.
So
I think that's a value.
The value of that to the carrier is huge.
What if you have a shipper that ships 15 on Sunday for the week and none Monday through Saturday?
Indeed, and that you've hit exactly the problem. And what we're trying to do is smooth that out to say, hey, that's about 3 a day. Let's see if we can feather it in 3 a day, because and I know that all 15 trucks aren't going to be needed that day.
Or the receiver can't receive them even though they put the orders in that way because they don't have the warehouse space or the appointment availability to do it. So then you're going to be doing date changes on half of them. Better to get ahead of it and do it early on the front side.
And that's the whole concept behind the level load approach to
It's all proactive. Just having that, but then being able to use the tools that you have around it. So you can't change that. Okay. That's going to make an impact in the network at all levels. But it's how do we adjust and do everything else we have to do around that?
Indeed, and what we're trying to do is obviously have the solutions that all neatly fit together. but solve essentially the whole supply chain efficiency problem. Okay, and we're a small company, about 40 people, but when you put all three companies together, and with 40 people, you can do a lot, but you can't solve world hunger, and you can't boil the ocean. So, we're trying to do the pieces that make sense. AutoScheduler, huge payback. Load optimization, huge payback. Order smoothing and level loading, huge payback. So I think we're focused in areas that we know work, and frankly, we're a little bit of a challenge to some of the big players out there who think that they do everything, but frankly don't.
When you have these tools and apply it in the manner that you do, there's not a human alive or a group of humans alive that can do it manually at that level.
When you're in the warehouse and things change rapidly, let's redo the schedule every 30 minutes or every 45 minutes. I mean, that's how often we're looking at it. And there's just no way even a group of people could continuously do that.
No, you couldn't do it right all the time. There'll be human error. And of course, people get sick, people get tired, people get old.
It'll be a miserable job.
It would be.
If I can take you from having 10 trucks one day and 2 the next and 5 the next, and give you a much steadier flow, which may be between
4 and 6,
4 and 6, or some numbers like that, and guarantee you that, I got to believe that one, that's huge value to the carrier, and that gets passed on in the form of rates. Okay, when you look at deadhead, and I don't know what it is in current things, but JB Hunt talked about during the pandemic they were running 19% deadhead. Then they dropped it down to 15%. That's a huge amount of deadhead, right? It's a lot of waste. I've been doing this for a lot of years, and I've got the very gray hairs to prove it. Thankfully, God's been good to me, and I've enjoyed working in this whole area of being able to make life better for a lot of people. And
you're definitely bringing value. I appreciate you spending time with us and explaining and sharing with us all the wonderful opportunities that shippers and manufacturers and warehouses, if they're watching, if they'd like to reach out to you, we'll go ahead and post your contact information up. And I just want to say thank you. Tom Moore, AutoScheduler, Provision AI, and transportation warehouse and load optimization software platforms. It's a lot of stuff, and all of it's good. I see the value.
Thank you, John. Thank you for what you do.
Hey, you have a great day, and we'll have you back on in the future.